everybody? Kevin Van Voris here for another video for you guys today. So, happy Tuesday. Hopefully you guys enjoyed your Labor Day weekend. I know I did. I worked and had a little time off. But what I wanted to talk to you guys about today was... Hopefully I don't run this person over. What I want to talk to you guys about today was everybody who is curious about bagging their car. Whether you have a truck, a Jeep, a Hellcat, a Honda, whatever. So I get a lot of questions on Instagram and on Snapchat every week about, you know, is it good? Do you like it? And I've had the Charger bagged for shit. I mean, I've had the Charger for almost 2 years in October. So I think I've had it bagged for at least a year. It's got to be a year and a half because I had it bagged when it was still orange. So I figured I should be, you know, the right person to tell you guys if bagging your car is worth it. What do I like about it? What do I not like about it? Cost and everything like that. So let's go over the Jeep first. So we're in the Trackhawk. I had the first bagged Trackhawk in the world. And it was something I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to do when I bought the Jeep. My old Jeep Grand Cherokee SRT, which I loved. I put the springs on it and I fucking hated the way it rode. It rode like shit. But I was like, if I ever get the Trackhawk or another SRT, I'm gonna bag the shit out of it. I like the way it looks. I like the way it rides. And so anyways, for those of you guys curious, I have a Airlift Performance kit and I have universal bags on this car. My opinion of universal bags so far is they work great. They ride fantastic. I've had no issues with them so far. Knock on leather here. I've had no issues with them. If you guys, the kit. So if you have a Jeep Grand Cherokee, Airlift doesn't make the kit. There's a place called Air Ride Equipment out in California, San Bernardino. So shout out to San Bernardino, that makes the kits for these cars, and they're pretty affordable. I want to say I paid $2,600 for the full kit. That's including management, the airbags, and everything you need to install it. Now, obviously, with the universal airbags, the actual airbag goes over the strut, so you don't actually replace the whole strut. You just take the strut off, pull the spring, and put the airbag over the spring, which is nice because then you don't have any stability control or any dampening lights come up on your dash, which is nice. That's the one thing that I have on my Charger that I don't like. Every time you turn on the car, it like goes beep 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 because there's the electronic part of the strut obviously is not plugged in because I have the actual Airlift Performance Charger kit or LX platform kit on the Charger. So that one we replaced the whole strut. So I would say the bad thing about having it that way is if something ever happens to, say, the Airlift Performance strut, I have to replace the whole strut, versus if something happened with this, I just either replace the strut, like say the strut goes bad, I just replace the strut, or the airbag. But the good thing with these bags, universal airbags, is they're lifetime warranted, which is really, really cool. And especially anything having to do with cars that's lifetime warranty, that's always a good thing to have. So comparing the two, like, how does this ride? I think it rides a little bit better than stock, to be honest. And the cool thing is you still can, like, in this Jeep, because we have the stock struts, you still can use track and sport and snow and all those different modes that your suspension will adjust for. So that's kind of cool. On the Charger, I don't have that function. So I only can adjust the suspension with either, if I adjust the actual Airlift strut to dampen it less or more, and then obviously I can control the airbag. I have the 3P system. I think the 3H system is not worth it, in my opinion. I think it's like, it's more, I think it's like $600 more, and it's a bitch to install. So me not knowing anything, I had the actual kit. I had the management for the Genesis because I was going to bag the Genesis, and or excuse me, we did bag the Genesis. So I kept the management from a Hyundai Genesis because the management is usually the more expensive part. So I kept that. I bought the 3H system, which has the height sensors that automatically adjust for you, but you really don't need it unless you're tracking the car where you need to, like, you know, the suspension has to be exactly everything perfect at going around a corner. You really don't need it. And actually, with the new system, with their update, you can actually adjust it by PSI. So, like, not adjust it, but you can have your settings set to PSI. So, like, the rear in this is set to 100 PSI. So if it goes below 100, it'll automatically air up. So it's kind of the same concept. I don't think the 3H is worth it, in my opinion. So there's two companies that you guys should use for Airlift Management. It's going to be either Airlift Performance, which is what the two that I have, and AccuAir. I've never personally used AccuAir, but I've had people who have used it and other companies who've used it, and they love AccuAir. So those are the two companies you should use. Everything else, I don't know. I'd really kind of stay away from. I've had good luck with Airlift Performance, and if I was, which I'm not, but say I bought the Demon and I was going to do a bunch of shit to it, I would definitely go and get an Airlift Performance kit for that. And I'd bag the shit out of it. But since I'm not doing that, I'm not. So some other questions are, how does it ride? You know, it rides, again, I think it rides better than stock. And actually, to be honest with you guys, I think the universal bags are a little bit better than the Airlift Performance. I think this rides better than my Charger, and my Charger rides really, really nicely. And I've had this car full of people, and I've had the Charger full of people. I've drove to Arizona and Dallas in both of these. Well, this is to Dallas and this to Colorado. No issues so far. It rides perfectly fine. And the cool thing is, if you want to adjust the height, like say, like for example, a couple weeks ago, the streets were flooded, and so I ride pretty low when I'm driving. I just aired it up back to normal height, no big deal. And that's what's really nice about it, especially in the Charger. Say I'm in the Charger and I get stuck in rain, and you know there's areas where it's flooded, I can air that bitch up instead of being one of those cars who's risking you know, water locking their engine or hydro locking their engine. So I really like it. I would totally recommend getting it if you guys are interested in airbags. It's not going to affect your performance. I've ran this at the track with and without the airbags. It makes no difference. You guys have seen my Charger run at the track. Now, my Charger, at some point, I'm sure the airbags are going to probably restrict a little bit. Probably not much, but it's going to be a little bit as far as like the suspension goes, because, you know, if you can have a softer spring in the back, you're obviously going to be able to lift that front end more and put more pressure to the ground when you're racing. So I'm sure at some point the Charger, like, I'll have to do some other stuff to make it faster. But as far as like that time happening, I don't see any time happening anytime soon. So, you know, my car, it's fast. You know, it's not the fastest car, but it's definitely fast. Mush, his car is extremely fast as well, or was, I guess, since he's selling it. You know, so don't be afraid to bag your car and be like, oh, it's going to affect the performance that much. There's a Challenger in Canada. I think he's running like 9. Now, this isn't good DA, but I'm pretty sure he's running like 9.8s. And this was like a year ago in his Challenger. And his is bagged. And I think it's just, I don't know, I think it's cool. How cool is it to go show up to the drag races, air out, and people will be like, are you racing that? Is that actually on airbags? Then you go pop out a good time, come back, no big deal. So I like the look of them. I like everything about them. The only thing that I don't like about the way that we set up the trunk in this is it's open, and I need to whenever we redo the trunk setup, I'm gonna put it where the spare tire goes, because when these compressors turn on, it's fucking loud. That's the only thing I don't like, but that's my own doing, because I didn't have the person who installed the kit put the air compressors and the actual the air compressor's in below, because otherwise it wouldn't make very much noise. Like in the Charger, you can't even hear it on because the exhaust is so fucking loud, and there's a trunk separating the airbags. So hopefully that answers some questions for you guys on it's like I try and park by myself and it doesn't matter, but hopefully that answers some questions for you guys, that if you guys had any questions for airbags. I love it. The cool thing is with Airlift, I'm sure Acura has the same thing. You can control everything from your phone if you really want to. So say you're at a car show and you want to air up and air down or whatever, there's so many options, and it's really, really cool. I really enjoy it. So hopefully that answers some questions for you guys. What is this dude doing? I don't know, it's weird. But all right, so let me show you guys the trunk of the Charger. So excuse this little dirt stuff. But so basically what we have here is we've got 2 compressors, which if you have a heavy car, I would highly recommend 2 compressors. I would say anything over 3,500 pounds, for sure get 2 of those. So if you have a Charger, a Challenger, whatever, a Jeep, a truck, I would get 2. And you know, even these are like $150 for an extra compressor, so they're not that much money. It's nice because they can air up and air down really, really quickly. One thing, which I'll show you guys on the other setup, but it's just a real clean setup. And like in the Charger, I have so much room still. Like this is totally roomy. I can fit luggage in here. You know, you could mount the tank upside down if you really wanted to, but I think in the Charger this setup works perfect. So now let's go over to the Jeep and I'll show you guys the difference in the trunk setup, and I'll show you guys how I'm going to change it here in a sec too. So excuse the gym towels here, but so it's a really clean setup. I like how this looks. It looks good. The only bad thing is we have no room back here now. So if I want to store stuff, I really don't have that option. So what I want to do is underneath here, which I think I can still lift up. Yeah, I can still lift up. I'm going to take out the spare and put everything in there. That way everything's mounted underneath, and then you can't even see it. But one thing that you guys want to make sure you get is this right here, and this is a water collector. And basically obviously these air compressors, they put off, you're gonna have some type of water vapor inside the tank. So what this does is it makes sure that no water vapor gets into the tank, otherwise you have to drain your tank and it's a pain in the ass. So just whenever you're ordering your kit, make sure you get one of these. I forgot what it's called, but it's basically just to make sure it's a water collector is all it is. Hopefully that answered some questions for those of you guys who are curious about airbags. I get questions all the time, and again, I figured I have 2 vehicles. I've got the Hellcat and the Trackhawk that are on bags, and I would totally recommend it to everybody. Even David said that if he ends up getting another Challenger down the road, he's definitely gonna put his on airbags. He's drove both and they ride nice, and I would highly recommend it to you. So if you're in the market for getting airbags, either go through AccuAir or I went through Airlift Performance. And you guys can always hit up Air Ride Equipment on Instagram. I think they have a Facebook too, and they'll hook you up. The owner is super nice, very helpful, and he'll get you what you need. In case they don't make a kit for your car, he can actually build you a kit, so that's kind of cool. Anyways, thank you guys for watching today's video. Hopefully this answered some questions, and make sure you guys leave your comments below. So I'm gonna go eat my dinner. Hopefully you guys have a good night. Make sure you guys follow me on Instagram and on Snapchat at KellyBoyKev. My name is Kevin Van Voris. These are my bad cars, and I'm out this bitch.